One of the largest upperclassmen dorms for UNT is about to see its final days.
And we catch up with a Denton firefighter who is finding new ways to inspire people.
Voter registration in Texas ends on Friday, and if you haven't yet done it, I can show you how.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Jordan Miller.
And I'm Blake Weiland. You are looking at the arena for tonight's first presidential debate. Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden square off in Cleveland. And this is a live look right now at that location, Case Western Reserve. Security is tight downtown Cleveland, where officials are preparing for the chance of protest and demonstrations. The debate kicks off at 8 p.m. our time. This is the first of 3 debates, and tonight's event is expected to get personal with both men on the attack. CNN's Nadia Romero has more.
It's a moment both candidates' campaigns and millions of Americans have been waiting for. Tonight, President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden will go face-to-face in Cleveland in the first of 3 presidential debates. The question tonight, will either candidate land a strong enough blow to sway undecided voters? The debate will feature 6 15-minute segments, including the Trump and Biden records, the Supreme Court, COVID-19, the economy, race and violence in our cities, and the integrity of the election. The president will likely also be asked about the recent New York Times report showing he paid no income tax in 10 of 15 years, beginning in 2000. For President Trump, it's a key moment to make headway with Americans, as most recent national and swing state polls show Biden with an edge. For Biden, it's an opportunity to directly call out the president and make his pitch to voters for a change.
While the presidential candidates face off in about 2 hours, here in Denton, the focus is on getting voters registered to vote. Monday is the last day to register, and ntTV's Michaela Goose has more on the push to get students involved here on campus. Michaela?
Thanks, Jordan. Right now, I am currently standing inside of the Union Circle parking garage where today, UNT's Student Government Association held their voter registration drive-through. Now, SGA is also having a voter registration week this week with events to help UNT students get registered to vote so they can have their voices heard on Thursday from 12 to 1:30, SGA will be helping students around campus register to vote and receive a voter's card. You can follow their Instagram and Twitter at UNT-SGA regarding all important voting information. Now, if you have any questions, make sure to follow SGA social media. They can answer all of your questions. Be sure to register to vote and get out there to the polls this year and let your voices be heard. That is all I have for you guys today. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Michaela. It certainly was a great day to be outside for a registration drive. Jordan, did you get some time in the sun?
Absolutely, and it was terrific. And in fact, the weather is still so nice that Andrew Fancher decided to head outdoors to tell us more. Andrew?
Well, Jordan, it is nice and sunny here in Union Circle. We've got degrees of 79-degree temperatures, a north wind speed of 8 miles per hour, and come tonight, we'll see temperatures dip to 60 come 11 p.m. with a north wind speed of around 4 miles per hour. And then on tomorrow, we will see a clear sunrise, a daily high of 89 degrees, and wind speeds anywhere between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, we will also have some clouds in our forecast, but more on that later in the show. Back to y'all in the studio.
Thanks, Andrew. We'll check in later in the newscast. But now a developing story with a big impact on UNT students living in College Inn. ntTV reporter Zach Fox is live with the latest. Zach?
Thanks, Jordan. Hundreds of UNT residents residing here at College Inn received a notification earlier today that they are to vacate their rooms by December 12th. The plan is to tear down the decades-old residence hall. Hundreds of students now have the remaining part of the semester to make a decision, a critical decision, to either stop their contract with housing or relocate to another housing option on campus. ntTV spoke with Hamid Ali, a resident of College Inn, and got his thoughts on the abrupt announcement.
Confused, and I'm now gonna have to research information about what's going on, what's happening, where do I go next in the spring? Do I have to work from home or what's going on? So it's all very confusing to me.
Residents that choose to relocate to another option on campus need to visit the housing website for housing room types of information. If you elect to cancel the spring 2021 housing semester, you will need to relay that decision to the College Inn front desk and then the housing assignments office. This story is still developing, but this is all the info that we have at the moment. Live at College Inn, I'm Zach Fox for ntTV. Back to you, Jordan and Blake.
Thanks, Zach. In certain parts of Texas, a new illness could be hiding in your drinking water.
And we will get an update on the wildfires that continue to rip through the California countryside. Stay with us.
Heck no, it didn't. I messed up.
Abbott issued a disaster declaration for Brazoria County on Sunday after a brain-eating amoeba was found in the water supply. Abbott held a press conference on the matter. We have to be clear that we as leaders will be taking steps every single day to make sure that we...
The coronavirus preyed heavily on the elderly early in the spring. Now it has moved on to children. American children and teens have seen a spike in COVID-19 infections. Authorities are saying that the increase in cases is related to the reopening of schools, along with the start of sports, playdates, and other activities. Today, the American Academy of Pediatrics report shows that children now make up 10% of all U.S. cases. In April, cases involving children made up just 2% of all U.S. COVID cases. We will keep you updated on this. Here at the UNT campus, case numbers have remained relatively low in comparison to other universities fielding classes on campus. As of Friday, UNT reported 22 active cases of COVID among both students and employees. In contrast, Texas Tech University in Lubbock reported 58 new cases on Monday, with an active case total of 260.
One of the key ways to keep those COVID rates low on campus is to get tested. The UNT Health and Wellness Center is doing 3 types of testing. Dr. Cynthia Herman, Executive Director of UNT Division of Student Affairs, says they include nasal swabs, a more complex version of the swab, and a blood antigen test. The normal nasal swab can return the results in just 15 minutes. If you need more information,
ability to perform tests here on campus at the Student Health and Wellness Center. We are able to perform the rapid antigen test here with results back in about 15 minutes. There are some instances where we still need to send tests out for people who are experiencing symptoms and maybe tested negative. So we do still send some tests out for PCR.
if you need more information about possible COVID testing, contact the UNT Health and Wellness Center.
Students across the nation have been directly affected by the COVID pandemic when it comes to their education. But for music students, virtual learning can cause some unusual problems. ntTV's Mia Gansetis spent time with 2 UNT music majors who are working hard to keep making sweet sounds.
Music majors are working to ensure their safety by taking precautions against the coronavirus. Students like Leanna Butler are constantly working hard to keep things running as normal. She says it's hard to keep motivated when she's not around other musicians. Leanna Butler is a music performance major at UNT. Normally, at this time, she says classes would be taken in class around other performers. She says social distancing and sanitizing frequently touched surfaces has become a new normal in class.
And so we have to wipe down everything whenever we're there. Same with orchestra. When we leave, we have to wipe down our stands, and we're also social distanced. So yeah, they take social distancing really seriously there, and wiping down things and sanitizing things.
Meanwhile, jazz studies majors are keeping safe by social distancing, which is different than the past. Normally, jazz musicians are centered around playing in an ensemble. Now, jazz students are limited to only 30 minutes of in-class instruction with other students. Jack Landhart, a jazz student, expresses how his peers are adjusting to having to social distance from each other.
Taken our lives as musicians away, because our whole, especially jazz musicians, our whole thing is playing with other people, and with the whole don't get close to anybody or you're gonna die or get really sick. It's really put an impact on how we play music and how we really just live our lives, because for a lot of musicians like myself, music is my entire life.
Butler and Landhart want to remind people that the College of Music is doing everything in its power to keep them safe. For ntTV News, I'm Mia Gansetis.
Hopefully, after this pandemic comes to an end, we can get back to having fun. Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida will have a new thrilling ride next year, featuring some clever girls. The company's Florida theme park has announced a new roller coaster called the Velocicoaster. As the name implies, this ride will be part of Universal Orlando's Jurassic World section. Along with the franchise's trademark Velociraptors, the tallest hill of the ride will peak at 155 feet, which is about 100 feet less than the famous Six Flags ride, the Titan. Parks like Universal and Disney tend to focus on movie themes rather than speed or height alone.
With a sunny day like today, I could really go for some time at the amusement park. I wonder if the sun's going to stick around.
Well, let's take it over to Andrew to find out what the weather will look like for the rest of this week. Andrew?
Well, Blake, it is still nice and sunny out here in Union Circle. As you can see, we're in the midst of golden hour, which you can still enjoy until 7:14 at sunset. Now, as you look for current conditions across North Texas, you will see we're really favoring 70-degree weather yet again, with a few variations throughout. We have 81 degrees in Bowie and Graham and an 82-degree high in the DFW Metroplex. Now, as we go look across the state, you will see that El Paso is sitting at 78 cool degrees right now, and as we work our way east, you will see again some 79-degree weather with a Texas state high of 82 degrees. Now, as for our 7-day forecast, you will see sun comes before the clouds, which hit us on Friday through Saturday. No real variation in temperature, just want y'all to watch out for that. And then Sunday through Tuesday, we see some nice sunny temperatures and a high of no more than 82 degrees and no less than 52. That's all out here. Back to y'all in the studio.
Thanks, Andrew. Despite the beautiful weather here in Texas, Calistoga in Napa County, California does not feel so lucky. Due to the wildfires, the entire city is now under a mandatory evacuation order. As of this morning, nearly 43,000 acres of Wine County has been burned. We'll keep you posted on that. Although COVID-19 has been negatively affecting people around the globe, there is some reassuring news for our environment. Scientists have discovered a way to speed up the progress of breaking down plastic. Researchers at the University of Portsmouth created a super enzyme that eats plastic 6 times faster than a previous enzyme. It's called PETase, which is a play on the word for the common type of plastic it breaks down. Various thermoplastics typically used in single-use bottles, carpets, and clothings. These thermoplastics takes hundreds of years to degrade in the environment. PETase can break it down in just a few days. The process is still too slow to be used commercially, but this is still a huge step in reducing plastic pollution. The team has received more funding to continue their research.
When we come back, we will take a look at how a local firefighter has been able to overcome major adversity.
And we take a look at the tasty Japanese restaurant right here in Denton.
Firefighter Gary Weiland is overcoming adversity in his life by becoming a ninja athlete not even 2 years after undergoing a leg amputation. After competing in several ninja events for the Ultimate Ninja Athlete Association, Gary has now qualified for the UNAA World Finals in Las Vegas.
We all face obstacles in our lives, but one Denton community member can overcome them all.
I've always just kind of had the mindset that if I see someone else doing something, there's no reason why I can't do that.
Denton firefighter Gary Weiland is as remarkable as he is determined. Not even 2 years after his lower leg amputation, Gary joined the Ultimate Ninja Athlete Association.
It is a ninja league that starts around February every year and ends around August. And it's basically, it's all ages and, boys, girls, anyone can come out.
After competing in various competitions from Houston to Austin, Gary qualified for the UNAA World Finals.
I'm actually really fortunate that I kind of stumbled into this league. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know going in. I was just there to experience it, have fun, and just kind of, see what happened. And then somehow, I qualified for the World Finals in Vegas.
Gary faces the obstacles in life much like he faces the obstacle course, with a positive attitude and a firm mindset.
You're only limited by your own self. Your own perspective is, that's your reality. If you think that you can't do something, then you can't do it.
Despite the adversity in his own life, Gary's ultimate goal is to show others how to adapt and overcome any challenge.
That's my biggest mission now in life is to show people, not just tell them, but show them that I'm not going to be limited by my disability, if you will. I'm gonna adapt. I'm gonna overcome. It doesn't matter what someone may think that I have a limitation with a with a prosthetic leg. I'm not letting it hold me back for anything.
Gary will compete at the UNAA World Finals in November of this year and is hoping to continue his ninja athlete career far into the future.
Now, I've barely had anything to eat today, but lately I've been craving some Asian food. Tyler, what's on the menu?
Thank you, Blake. If you like Asian food, you're going to like what I'm about to show you here, especially if you like authentic Japanese ramen.
If you walk down Hickory Street from UNT, you'll find Hanabi Ramen and Izakaya, which is known for its authentic Japanese ramen. It all began when manager Justin Lee's uncle, Mr. Rowe, had spent a long time in Japan. He then came to the US with the goal of giving that authentic Japanese experience to people here. After running a ramen shop in Japan, Chef Ito Takao joined Mr. Rowe, and they opened Hanabi in Fort Worth in 2015.
I don't think there was as much as there are now as far as Japanese ramen goes in the DFW area, so they wanted to provide that for people who wanted it, and it did pretty well, and we expanded onto Carrollton and then now into Denton.
Hanabi's most well-known dish is the Tokyo Tonkotsu, which consists of noodles, pork, marinated eggs, bamboo shoots, pickled takana, and green onions. Another one would have to be the Godzilla ramen. One of its main ingredients is pure capsaicin, one of the spiciest in the world. Maybe that's why the restaurant's name is Hanabi, which is Japanese for fireworks. But also,
I guess fireworks and flavor, a lot of flavor, just burst of flavor in our ramen.
Hanabi has its own noodle recipe, and the other ingredients are either from Japan or made in-house.
And it does feel good that people like it for the most part. And they do continue to support us, even actually through the COVID. I'm actually really surprised because we do see a lot of people who used to dine in here coming back after school started and everything. So it's good.
Hanabi Ramen has received financial aid from the government in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. Lee thinks the government has done enough to help keep his business running. To learn more, visit ramenhanabi.com.
You know, Jordan, I've heard you're a big fan of football.
You're right on, Blake. I'm a big NFL fan, and I know Michelle has some NFL news for us. Michelle?
The NFL season is well underway, but without the safe haven of a bubble situation, the NFL can't keep the coronavirus away. Stay with us. After 3 weeks of play, the coronavirus has finally caught up to the NFL. This morning, the Tennessee Titans suspended all in-person activities after 3 players and 5 members of the Titans personnel tested positive. The Titans played the Minnesota Vikings this past Sunday in Minneapolis. The Vikings have also canceled all in-person activities until further notice. It is unknown whether both teams' Week 4 games will proceed as scheduled. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and an 8-person group of coaches, former players, and executives will make the decision to postpone, cancel, or proceed with Week 4 games for both teams. In another story of bad news, the Stanley Cup came to a close last night, and the Dallas Stars were not the team that came out on top. After 6 games, Dallas fell to the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-2 in the series. After winning Game 1 and then losing 3 straight, the Stars simply couldn't come back from their deficit. Dallas lost to Tampa in a 2-0 Game 6 last night. Lightning defenseman Victor Hedman was awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP and was also the first player to hold the Stanley Cup after the final buzzer. This is the second championship for Tampa Bay. Their previous championship came in 2004. Former Dallas Maverick Delonte West was seen panhandling in the streets on a rainy day last week. West played in the NBA for 8 years and averaged 9.6 points in his career. The former Maverick has fallen on hard times since his NBA departure. Struggling with addiction and finding work has forced him to live on the streets. Dallas Maverick owner Mark Cuban has agreed to pay for treatment as an effort to get his life back on track. After picking him up at a gas station, West spoke about his mental health struggles during his time in the NBA after he was diagnosed with bipolar syndrome. We hope all the best for West and his family. Jordan, back to you.
Disney has released a new feature on Disney Plus to keep users connected, even when they are different galaxies far, far away. It's called Group Watch, and it allows up to 7 people to watch the same program together in a synced playback experience. One person will host and send out invites so that everyone can watch the show together simultaneously. There will even be an option to share real-time reactions with each other.
Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.